Okay, hi guys, and welcome back to the podcast.
I thought you said
Today,
don't look at the camera.
huh?
I thought you said don't look at the camera.
It's intro, bro.
Oh, okay, go.
Okay, anyway, we're back today with a new guest. This is my friend here. Want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Jon Kit. Do I look at the camera?
Yeah, up to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if I introduce you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jon Kit. I knew Matthew from Poly,
Mm.
right? And yeah, what else do you want to say?
Okay. I mean, what are you doing now?
What am I doing now? I'm studying, and I'm also doing financial consultancy at AIA. Yeah, so I'm a financial consultant with AIA.
Yeah. This is why I'm just as such today, because I feel that need to match with this
Yeah, you need to match my formality.
this formality. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, actually today, I brought Jon Kit on because I want to talk about something very interesting, especially within Singapore itself, which is his job. I feel that as a financial
Yes.
consultant, there you bring a lot of polarizing views on how people see the career.
Okay.
I mean, even online itself, there are many people that have their comments and their feelings towards consultancy. So, how long have you been in this industry?
I've only been licensed for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
Since last year July.
Mhm.
Then, but been interacting with the career for about 2 years plus already lah.
Yeah, lah.
Yeah, because I explored for a bit before I decided that it was for me.
Mhm.
Right, that I could do it for a long time, a lifetime career.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would say still much more to learn now, but so far it's been fun
Okay.
and challenging, which is something that I look for in a career also. Like it has to be challenging for me. So far the stars align. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still here.
Understand.
Yes.
I mean, I can see there's a lot of opportunities to do many things. For example, like travel overseas and go for summits and then meet definitely a plethora of different kind of people.
Yes.
So why go overseas? Like I thought your clientele was in Singapore.
Honestly, we go overseas to play.
Oh, okay.
But there are some conventions that they send us to. They don't actually send us to it.
Mhm.
If we qualify for it,
Mhm.
then we get to go for these overseas incentive trips.
Mhm.
On top of the incentive trips, then there are work trips where we go there to listen to top financial consultants of the world, right? Like maybe the top 5%, top 1% of the industry internationally. Then we learn from them, but on the sideline we also have fun. So I would say it's a mixture of both.
Understand.
Yeah, we don't go overseas to do business per se, but now speaking about this year, like the company also released overseas opportunities like to do offshore business. But yeah, let's not get into it. Yeah, but mainly it's to have fun. So answer your question. Yeah.
Okay, but actually I'm quite curious, like why of all things choose doing financial advisory? Because you can see like financial advisory products itself is not a tangible thing, ma.
Yep.
To me, like okay, I've been approached before to do to become a financial consultant,
Right.
but then I couldn't actually wrap my head around the last part, which is that essentially you're selling people a future, a product that you need to invest in for a few years before you can actually see the returns and the dividends, compared to let's say buying housing or certain products. So why do you make that decision to to dabble in such a few and sell such a product?
Okay, actually, like most people, actually like 80%, 90% of people in Singapore, I didn't think I would do this lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So and actually, like 80%, 90% of the people in Singapore, they are not interested in doing this, right? And another statistic, right? Okay, this statistic is not like backed up or anything, but it's more of based on my own social circle and based on my own observations. But 80%, 90% of people that I also meet, they are in the financial services industry, like my colleagues per se. I would say 80%, 90% of them, right? They also weren't interested, or they actually were afraid of being an FA from the start. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say from these few statements, right, is that nobody actually wakes up to want to be a financial consultant, right?
Understand.
Which I think you can agree also. So it was a sort of a by chance encounter, right, by a good friend of mine that just decided to pop the question. He was about 6 months in the industry before me, right, which I impolitely declined because he's my good friend, right? Then, but fast forward about 2 months later, I decided, okay, why not take a chance to find out more about it first, before deciding if it's for me lah. So I did, and okay, so that's how we started. But going back to your question, like why financial advisory or why FA, I would say it's because um, at the start it was honestly because of the income potential. Right, to be very honest with you, it was because of income potential. But over time, right, believe it or not, like as cliche as it sounds, as I meet more clients, I realize that the power or the sort of responsibility that I have as a financial consultant, if I'm able to empower someone to make a decision to insure themselves or to maybe kickstart a small investment portfolio, for example, right? Of course, we do more than just these two things, but just for example, right? If I'm able to do that, if I'm able to empower a friend or a close friend or someone that I know of to do this, right? I think it's quite fulfilling.
Yep.
So at the first point at the start is because of income potential, but over time I realized that this income potential thing becomes a bonus.
Yep.
Right? And what the main primary source of motivation for me to work in as a financial consultant is actually the fulfillment. Fulfillment of being able to, like what I mentioned, empower someone to make a decision that maybe before meeting me they
never thought
of making.
Understand.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking about like clients and friends, right? Actually, this brings me to my next point, which is basically like, you've seen all those like online people create like memes and videos about like, how FAs, they meet friends, like friend want to meet a friend, then in the end become like the friend meetup became like him trying to sell you a product of FA. So which brings me to the point of hot and cold selling. So you told me before that hot selling is like, selling to people within your friend circle or your friend.
Oh, you mean warm market and cold market lah.
Correct.
Okay, understand.
Yes, sorry, not very clear.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So anyway, like, isn't there a point where you find that suddenly the lines between your friend and the client start to blur, and then at the same time, aren't you afraid also like of being like sort of a sellout,
Okay, so I mean the first part of the question is, am I afraid that the line of being a client and a friend becomes blurry? Okay, for me, no, I'm not. Right, because I tell my friends that yes, I'm a financial consultant, just like how you're an engineer, just like how you are architect, just like how you're an interior designer, anything. You are in a career just like how I am in a career. And when I meet you, I'm a friend. I'm first a friend, then I'm a consultant. Yeah, so I'm first a friend, and because to me, I feel if you feel like and you know that what you are providing, anything you're providing, whether it's a tangible or intangible solution, is something that will benefit your friend, then you should have no fear in promoting it, or you should have no fear in sharing it. That's my take on it, Right. So at this juncture, I know that if my friend, for example, is at the next stage of his or her life, at the next milestone of his or her life, and I'm able to value it in one way or another, right? Whether it is a direct or whether it gives me an indirect or direct benefit, right, to my career also, I will feel that I would just want to share with you.
Yep.
Yeah. But first, to answer your question, I'm first a friend and then after that a consultant. So I don't really see the blurry lines in between. Yeah. Then if my friends ask me, I also tell them actually I'm the same old guy, I'm same Jon Kit. But just that I am more proficient in financial tools like CPF, retirement planning, I don't know, like bank, what kind of credit cards you want to use. So it's just something that you can ask me that maybe if you ask someone else, they might not have perfect information about. So that's all. Yeah. Then you mentioned something about selling out, right? What do you mean by that actually?
As in, like, don't you find that, because okay, we both know of people that have joined the industry, then have left after. Then after, aren't you afraid that you may come across into the same kind of I mean, this career, like you said, now is benefiting you, but in a few years' time may not. Like for example, my dad has had the same insurance agents for the past like 10 years. That's why he just left with no notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your question is whether or not I might
just pull out.
What if pull out? Okay, nice. So what if I pull out? Okay. So okay. So when I joined the industry, like what I told you, I initially didn't want to, and actually, I always share this with my clients, right? And what I would tell them is, at the start, I didn't want to do it because I told you my good friend tried to bring up a question, right, which I impolitely declined. I told him the reason why I didn't want to do it then, right, that was when I didn't have information about the career yet. it was because I was afraid to lose friends.
Mm.
Yeah,
I see.
and those people that know me throughout, like poly more significant because I made significantly more friends in poly because I feel I was overly friendly and everything. I treasure my friends a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why it might also relate to the first question you asked me. I would never want to jeopardize my friendship for this. So that was the basis, and that is still the basis, right? So before I even found out more about the industry or more information about it, I told myself I didn't want to join. But after I found out more about it and I tried it and I explored, and I got my first 10, 20 clients, I realized actually instead of losing friends, I'm actually gaining more friends.
I understand.
Yeah. So then comes the question, right? Is there a chance or is there a time that I might potentially want to leave? Honestly, who knows? Nobody knows, man. Like it's like how you get into a career now, you get into employment now, right? But you don't know whether 1-2 years later you'll be sort of happy here.
Yeah.
But you more or less have a sensing. So that sensing currently at the moment is I'm not gonna leave,
Yeah.
right? Because I feel there's also a lot on the line, right? A lot that I put myself on the line for. Meaning to say the responsibility, the accountability that probably similarly to what your father's agent for 10 years also it was also going through his mind. But at the end of the day, we still have to think for ourselves, right? Yes, we do it for our clients, but at the end of the day, it's also my career. So I'm not ruling out the possibility that I might want to leave, but the chances and the probability of that happening is very, very low. Because personally, like why I say a few reasons. First is I feel that friendships on the line. People actually put their trust in me. I don't want to throw that away. And going back to my basis of not wanting to lose friends, that's number one priority. And secondly, I feel I have a responsibility to uphold the trust that they place in me also, similarly to first reason. So yeah lah. I guess what I'm trying to say in overall, right, is just that I don't want to break the trust that I have with my friends. So the likelihood of me leaving is very, very, very low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the answer.
But understand, but at the same time, like what you said, when you approach people and you sell them a certain product, at times when it comes to, when I see things online, it seems like people are more, they trust the person that serves them more than the actual product itself.
Right, yeah.
So I mean, there's always a risk, and somehow when you're doing an investment portfolio, it's not like a 10-year thing,
correct,
30 years. So like, what is your advice to consumers that, now that they've already bought and then maybe under this particular agent, like moving forward, like what if one day that agent leaves? Then how do they protect themselves?
Okay. So let's just make, for simplicity's sake, we talk about investment instruments, which is like investment linked policies, and let's talk about insurance policies. Just in general, nothing specific, right, to the companies or whatsoever. So I would say when it comes to insurance products, you see, Matthew, if you purchase an insurance product from me, you are insured by the company, by whichever company you are, correct? So when you're insured already, you realize that even if I leave, are you still insured?
Yep.
You are. Right? Even though you bought it from the basis that most people do, you bought it from me because you trust me, right?
Yep.
And I decide to leave. Be whatever reason, for my own reason or for some other external reasons, doesn't matter. I just leave. You are still insured, and that's the main thing. When you need to claim, right, your next servicing agent, right, whether or not you know this servicing agent or it's just a automatically transferred agent, right? Which also dies down to how responsible your previous agent was. Meaning, in this example, me, if I were to leave, if I'm responsible enough, I would introduce you to a new agent, or I just want to just pack my stuff and chow.
Understand.
Right? It depends on how good the agent is or how responsible he or she is. But at the end of the day, you are still insured, and that's all that matters. I feel personally, right? Because at the end of the day, it's between you and the company, right? The policy, right? I'm just the middleman. Yeah. So I think, even to answer your question, even though yes, the basis of purchasing this policy is because of the trust that you have the agent, don't forget that at the end of the day, the bigger picture as to why you bought this policy is so that in the future, anything happens to you, you have a payout.
Yep.
Or anything happens to you, you can get a reimbursement.
Yeah.
And that's more important than the trust. But not saying it's not important. Trust is not important, but just putting things in from a very objective standpoint. The product that you bought will still be there even if the agent leaves.
Understand. Okay, interesting.
Did
Actually,
you answer the question?
yeah, I think more or less.
Okay, see.
Actually, I'm quite curious. Like,
Yes.
you don't have to tell me a number, but out of all your followers on Instagram, how many of them have you actually approached, like percentage wise,
Wow, my
ballpark figure?
Instagram followers.
Yeah, because okay, honestly, I think my Instagram, I think many people can read it. I think more than 6 people already DM me on Instagram asking if I want to buy a policy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, well, like for yourself, like not say DM per se, but inside the contact list, like how many people do you think you've touched?
Okay, honestly, you asked me to give you a percentage, I also don't know. But I give you a number. Okay, as a consultant, it is our daily, what we call our daily honest job to reach out to our friends.
Okay.
And to reach out to our friends' parents, to reach out to our friends' friends, reach out to our so on and so forth, our family's friends, all these are. Right, whoever can think of. And because I'm doing one market only, and I believe why I'm doing one market is because I feel more fulfillment helping someone that I actually know and actually really care about. I feel that's more genuine to me. So I can't give you an exact number, but I can tell you maybe in my first year, right? Not my first full year because I only licensed like last year, July. So for the financial year of 2021, right? I only worked 6 months technically. So in the 6 months, I think I reached out to at least 200-300 people. Yeah. Then of which about 60 of them became my clients. Yeah. So it is more of a, I would say, you don't know what is going to come out of it, but you just know that what you're providing, like what I mentioned at the start of the podcast, is you just know that what you're providing is valuable and it actually benefits your friends and your people that you know. So you just want to reach out. And if it's not the right time, have that at least have that self-respect for them and for yourself to tell them that I'll follow up with you again and not push it.
Understand.
Yeah. So of course that's not answering the question, but just telling you. Right. So yeah, I would say about 200. Then this year, I would say a bit more focus. Servicing my existing clientele base, then filling up any gaps that I see in their portfolio, be it insurance or wealth portfolio. Then also getting a steady number of referrals per month, maybe 1, 2 per month, those kind of things.
You see, the referrals are very important, right, in this industry.
I would say definitely.
Because it breaks out of your circle, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, I see you constantly post on your Instagram that you are servicing which so and so client.
Yes.
And sometimes they are blurred out, sometimes they are, their face are shown.
Correct.
So at least there's a form of relatability, But what do you feel about people who actually use their social media to promote like products, right? Especially during times of like struggle and stuff. For example, I had a friend that was quite pissed off during like the time where the Ukraine war first broke
out.
Then I mean, not to laugh at the matter, but then like, people felt that, some of the financial consultants out there were being a bit opportunistic at the point in time, trying to promote some like investment portfolios.
Correct.
Because as you know, the market was starting to go down at that point in time. So do you feel that like maybe, as a FA, that there's definitely some kind of responsibility to be, how you post this kind of content? Because some of the FAs are even influencers themselves.
Right. Yeah, true.
So what's your thoughts on all this?
Okay. Subjective, right? It's very subjective and very touchy also. Yeah. But I feel personally, it dies down to the branding of the advisor.
Okay.
Because it's an image, right? It's an image at the end of the day. And nobody can deny that as a financial consultant, you already have the pre-existing stigma. And why we have the stigma is because of maybe the bad experiences outweigh the good experiences. But then again, from another perspective, people can also argue that it's just like how you do so many good things but nobody see, and you do one bad thing and then suddenly you become a villain. So what I'm trying to say is, you're asking my thoughts on it, right? My thoughts is that whatever the advisor decides to post, he or she has to know and has to be able to bear the consequences. Any consequences, whether is it good or a bad consequence, he or she must be able to take responsibility for the words that he or she chooses to use. And how sensitive or how insensitive, again, is subjective, but there is a certain degree to there's a certain degree of control that you can that you can have when you decide to post this thing,
Understand.
like what's going through your mind and everything. So I guess what I'm saying is actually I don't know really know what I'm saying but I guess it's all I don't know how to answer directly the question because
I mean, I'm not asking you to condone or to support their
yeah. That's why because
just
I
your
don't
thoughts,
know,
just your thoughts.
I just feel maybe they need to think through
because I never really see you post anything very controversial to promote your products, but there are other people that do so lah. Yeah.
So I was okay. So I guess I would just say that you know that what I do and what I don't do. So there's a reason why I'm not doing that because maybe I just don't feel like I want to get into the wrong books of people, right? But for FAs that want to post what they want to post, I think it's at the end of the day it's their branding, and as long as they're responsible, it's fine lah.
Understand.
Yeah, as long as they're responsible for it, it's fine lah. But I get that sometimes people get slightly pissed off, right, and a bit annoyed also, which I can relate lah, right? But I guess at that point of time, maybe maybe it didn't get through to that, or maybe you just feel like, nothing wrong what. I just want to post what I want. It's my social media, so I guess to each his own lah. To each his own.
Okay, so actually, I mean, it's an interesting point what you said. There's definitely some level of responsibility, but I think it's also a good reflection of like whether you can trust and the FA, whether it's aligned with your values per se. Yeah,
because I mean, you have a following, and you are. Let's say, for example, if you have a clientele base already, that means these people have a certain degree of respect to your words.
Understand?
Yeah, so your words actually hold some weight, which I feel, just a general statement, right? Which I feel that's where you can use it for good, or you can use it for bad. But again, good or bad is subjective. But in this case, you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. And I would say that's what I feel. Personal opinion. That's why I feel FAs, or at least for my own take, the way I run my business, I feel it's important to think through what we are posting before we actually do it. Don't just ride on the trend. For example, everybody is posting it, then you just post. Also, you must think about the repercussions. You must think about how people are looking at me. I feel as FAs specifically, and more importantly, we are always at the not limelight, but always in the spotlight. Not limelight. Limelight is different. Limelight is like you're always in a very positive way. We are always in the spotlight. So there's either we can lean to the good or the bad.
Yeah.
So as long as we are aware of that as FAs, especially in Singapore context, I feel not much will go wrong.
I mean, honestly speaking, for me, I don't feel that being a financial advisor is a bad thing. Okay. I think also the products you sell also aren't bad because I mean, you are selling investment one. Either way, people would still get into investment one way or another, I feel. But yours is a bit more like there's a certain like sort of like product that you already crafted out that obviously is tailored to your customer lah. So I mean the monetary benefits doesn't come into much later right?
True.
So I mean I understand why, but it just baffles me how there's so much hate for your job, for your career. For example, like news outlets can come out say like this unethical or uncouth kind of a career. But actually for yourself, how do you deal with such like negative comments? I'm sure that it's not the first time you've heard negative comments or read about it online. So and do you have people actually come up to you and say your job scope is a question mark, or like they question why you're doing it? And how do you deal with this kind of like backlash?
Right.
Say?
Okay, so honestly speaking, I don't really deal directly with it. I just do my own thing like honestly because I don't feel like like what I told you just now previously, it's just like any other career, right? Just that it already has a pre-existing stigma, right, as compared to other careers. But I already knew that before I entered, and I sort of owned it, right? I sort of took it in my stride, and I told myself, if I'm not going to be possessing the bad characteristics of what makes a bad financial consultant, right, then why do I have to be so afraid of what people think of me? If I'm just being myself, if I'm still the same old guy, Jon Kit from secondary school, poly, primary school, I feel there's nothing much for me to be afraid of. So I just want to do my own thing. And if my friends trust me and they are in need of a financial solution some way, somehow, whether or not it benefits me or not. Why I always say this is because I feel as a financial consultant, you not only just you not only sell your products of your company. There are also financial solutions apart from the products that you provide, which do not give you a direct remuneration, which you can also value at your clients. For example, if I teach you about BTO deferred down payment scheme, for example, this just came to mind. I'm not remunerated for that one.
Yeah.
But I can sit down for a good 15-30 minutes to share with you how the structure works because it is finance.
Yeah, understand.
Right? And or for example, CPF retirement planning, how do you utilize CPF, right, to maximize maybe the payouts that you get in the future for maybe this more relatable for a 40, 50-year-old or 60-year-old even. I'm not remunerated for them.
Yeah.
But I am a financial consultant. So if I don't know this, then again, this is my own opinion, personal opinion. If I don't know this, then I feel, am I really deserving to be a financial consultant? Am I really deserving for someone to put their trust in me? So honestly, I would say this is a more important subject than to deal with the stigma.
Understand.
So I don't really, to answer your question, I don't really deal with the stigma. I just feel like I need to know what I need to know. I need to know what I need to know. I need to know what actually could benefit the people around me that if they didn't met me or they never really did the research, they wouldn't know.
So essentially, you just cut out all the noise and focus on what is important to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same reason why people do things. But it's the same reason probably why you're doing this also. Yeah. Just do your own thing, vibe, like what you mentioned.
Yeah.
Just vibe and if you are always going to be living in the in the noise or in the opinions of others, then I would say we never really have we ever lived. I don't really think so.
Understand. Yeah. Okay, understand. Do you feel that investments like this, they are a necessity or like a value add to someone's life? Like for your personal opinion.
Investments, is it?
Yeah, investments.
Okay, so now we are talking about investments. Okay, so again, not financial advice or anything.
Yeah.
But investments, I feel, it's not so much of what investment you're invested in, but it's more so of do you realize the need to invest? I would say there are a lot of friends that I know of, when they meet me, they say, I don't want to do investments. And I respect that. And at the end of the day, we look at maybe something more guaranteed, like savings plans. But what I would say, again, not going to products or anything, but I would say the key thing to note here is just realizing the difference, right? If we do like maybe compound interest, for example, and realizing the difference when we actually do invest our money into XXX instruments, or if we just put it in the bank or savings plans, and we do the comparison, maybe 10, 20 years later, maybe we take when you want to retire as a gauge, from now to 55, for example, right? If you put it into a savings plan, if you put it into a bank, if you put it into an investment vehicle, right? What's the difference in terms of returns? Then you decide yourself if it's a need or want. Yeah, so I'll leave it to the client, I would say.
Understand.
I'll leave it to the client.
Very interesting. Okay, I mean, it's good advice. Okay, so just moving away from that a bit, we go back to maybe like how, you want to brand yourself and differentiating from other FAs. So before we go into that, do you feel that the job is more of a freelance job or you're an entrepreneur?
Definitely entrepreneur. I would say we are self-employed. Right? We still have to contribute medisave just like a self-employed.
Okay.
Right? Just if you're not really full time, then you realize that there will be no 20% into your CPF, 70% top up from your employer. We are just like, if you don't contribute, we don't contribute. So we are self-employed, and what we do is we plan our own time, Yeah, and we run our business like sales. We also do marketing. We also do talent acquisition. We also do. So everything we all do. So technically, we are a business.
Okay, so like for example, getting like gifts. So for example, this cup that is on this is actually is from Jon Kit, because I'm a customer of his.
Product placement.
Yeah. So like, how much would you spend roughly? Like, how much have you spent roughly on giving gifts to all your clients?
Okay, honestly, I would say a percentage of my income, I would actually set aside to do client servicing.
Okay.
And okay, here's my own take personally. We don't need to do it. We don't need to do it because we are not remunerated for it per se.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like a business transaction, ma. I mean, if we put all the subjective things aside, like put all the emotions aside, it is a business transaction. You need you need to be insured, right? My company provides that insurance solution. Then we have a business partnership. Then we sign the deal and done, right? But I would say it is up to the own consultants. I would say decision or choice to actually want to invest their money to service the clients as a form of gratitude.
Yeah.
And that's what I resonate with.
So it's like basically like being a rapport with your clients.
Yes.
And like reminding them that you still care for them.
Of course, yeah. I mean, people are, not say people are, but it's just the way the world works, ma.
Yeah,
if let's say you don't appear as often, then sometimes people might mistake it as you don't give any.
Shit,
okay. I was trying to don't forget this, but you don't give a shit anymore. But I feel like this is the least I can do, especially if for example I have 10, 20 clients, still okay lah. I can still hand deliver to you, and I can still come and visit you. But if I have 100, 200 try over the next 3-4 years, I realize that there's only 365 days a year, unless every single day I meet one client. Yeah, so I would say this is also a form of like what you say lah, gratitude, and also like you remember me. Yeah, and I think people appreciate it. So yeah.
Do you feel that as time progresses, like say you're gonna have an incremental of your clients, and then maybe you meet more friends and stuff like that? Then do you feel that all those friends that you had in the past, like you slowly lose track of them and they get swept away, as time goes by? Then like how do you deal with that?
Okay, so one thing I admire about this career, I love about this career is that you see, as we grow older, right, our circle of friends get smaller, right? Right, it's the way it works. Correct. Because we realize that there's fewer common topics. Okay, number one. Actually, that's the main reason. Yeah. There's fewer common topics because when we're in primary school, our primary school friends, we can talk about primary school stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, want to go soccer at recess? Hey, what you want to eat during lunch? Okay, actually, I don't really have those conversations, but you get what I'm trying to say. The secondary school, you have secondary school topics. Poly, you got all the camp stuff, then you got stuff to talk about. Then you realize as we age, then we move to different uni, suddenly we go to different jobs. It's normal, right?
Yeah.
We lose common topics, so we drift. Right, but I realize why I love this career is because there is a common topic now.
Yeah.
Especially with my clients. And I feel closer to them because there's also a reason for me to come back and for me to go through these life milestones with my clients. Sorry. So for example, I don't know why.
Is that
but I don't have a sore throat.
Yeah. Natural voice. Yeah.
You should have said that in the start. Yeah. Now you say it now. Okay, my name is like for example, if a 25-year-old becomes my client and he's my good friend, or he's my friend now, okay. The next time I'll meet this person after I look at his insurance at 25, look to start a small investment for him at 25. Maybe the next milestone that we might need to do further planning is when he first gets his first child, or when he gets his first mortgage, when he buys his BTO, or when he gets his BTO or his resale flat. That's why we might need to look at covering it for more because there's more liabilities. So you see, the beauty about the career is that I get to have a chance and get to have a reason to come back to them and celebrate their milestones with them, and potentially even implement another solution for them. So to answer your question, no, I don't think I'll get further or drift further from the clients that I had early on, because every year I have a reason, and it's my responsibility to go back to review their cash flow, to ask them for updates about their life, and I feel that's what makes this career fun and exciting to me.
Interesting, because I think if you look at it from a different perspective per se, like, I mean, it's good to see that, you have a positive outlook in it, but I think it's very interesting because, people out there, and I can kind of see why, would think that, it's like, wow, you only come back to me when, you need to invest more money into other things, right? Yeah, but I mean, I guess not a lot of people, because money in the end of the day is a very touchy subject, especially for Asians,
Yes, it
Actually, it's very, very touchy. And it's great that, young people are trying to get more and more into this business so that they can break the stigma, per se.
Right.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's quite refreshing to hear that you have a positive take on it. Because honestly speaking, like, if you imagine like your whole interaction with this friend of yours, like what you said, it's like you wait until like 8 years later, then you talk to him. Don't you feel that, it's a bit hard also by the point of time to reach out and talk to them?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I would say, I would say it takes someone slightly extroverted to actually be okay to keep reaching out and everything. But it is in my nature. It is in my blueprint per se. From young, I'm just friendly, right? So I would say it's nothing out of the norm for me, right? To reach out to my friends constantly and everything. So I agree with you, lah. Like, if you sign a policy with a friend and then you leave him or her to be and don't even bother to reach out anymore, and then when you realize that you need to hit a quota and you go back to the person, then that's you being a dick, lah.
Yeah.
If I can recruit, I can recruit. So I don't really feel that there is something that I want, because I'm someone that honestly, as much as I say, don't care too much about what people think about you, but to a certain extent you have to, lah.
Yeah.
You have to be aware, you have to be self-aware, self-awareness. So I also feel that I myself, I wouldn't want to let my friends down like what I told you. Which is again going back to my basis of not wanting to lose any friends. Instead I want to gain more. So I think it's something that I myself task myself to do. Every year I must make sure I have a touch point with them and reach out to them and really just catch up. And really to see how their life is doing, because sometimes some of my clients tell me, hey, I got an increment. I'm like, wow, shit, congratulations. Yeah, so then that's where we have to do. They will tell me, hey, maybe I got this amount of money, what can I do with it? Then I say, okay, lah, you can do this. Singapore savings bonds, treasury bills, all these you can look into it. Which I do not have a direct remuneration again. But then I feel at this juncture, it is beneficial for them, then put it there.
Okay, cool. Anyway, after listening to what Jon Kit had to say, I feel that, generally I feel there's also a responsibility on the customer himself to pick someone right to service them. I think it's not easy because, all FAs will probably sing about the same song, like what kind of products they're selling and things like that. But I think also it's the responsibility of yourself as a customer to pick someone that's appropriate for yourself, lah. And you're comfortable that, after, if he or she leaves because to be honest, it can't be someone stay in the same job for 30 years. It's not how our generation works anymore. 5 years or 10 years is the max nowadays, really. So it's the responsibility of yourself to pick someone appropriate for yourself. And also when it comes to friends, just like people grow apart, lah. Because we just grow up. Yeah, so I guess don't get too hard over if, like, let's say you start losing friends as you grow up.
Yeah, lah.
Because I face the same thing. I think most of us do, lah.
Yeah, we do.
When you are popular in school, then when you go to the next phase of life, you're just not popular anymore because everyone's just interested in other things, lah. You excel in school doesn't mean you excel in life.
Correct. Wow. Matthew 2K22, yeah.
I mean, that's what it is, lah. So anyway, thanks for this chat today.
No problem.
Before we end off this part, do you have any advice to people who want to, pursue a career in financial advisory?
I would say, okay lah. I mean, I probably not want to answer this directly because then it seems like I'm promoting something. But never mind. but I feel in general lah, because maybe I take financial advisory as just a risky pathway. Okay, so for people that I'm not very old, and again you can choose not to take my advice, but I feel personally, from the past 2 years of working, I feel if there is a pathway that is slightly more risky than the others, and what I like to call slightly more unconventional, okay, again, generically speaking, I would say, but you feel that this risky pathway is or might be somewhat beneficial for you, right? And if it tickles your mind a bit, then just don't be afraid to spend more time to understand it more and explore it first before, crossing it out of your list. Because that's what happened to me. I turned it down at the start, but then I thought back, cannot be my good friend is trying to pull me down the drain, right? Cannot be trying to throw me under the bus, ma. There must be a reason why one of my closest friends in the world is asking me to try and join this industry. He might see something that I might be able to excel in. So after 2 months of contemplation, after rejecting him, I decided to give it a try because it tickled my brain a bit. Right, then I spent some time with it, just like dating.
Yeah.
Before you know this girl is the right one or this guy is the right one, you got to date this person. So I dated this career for a while before I decided, okay, let's tie the knot lah, something like that. I
Yeah.
mean, you get the analogy lah. So all in all, don't be afraid to take a bit more risk. Can ask yourself if taking the risk now when you don't have too much liabilities, is it more painful, or if you take the risk next time when you're married, when you have children, and you suddenly get offered this unconventional path, will you take it then? Most probably not lah. Right. So do it now when you are young.
All right. All right. Thanks. So before we end here.
Yep.
What's your song of the week, or what song have you been listening to?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, this is what you mean? Shit, I don't know, sir. What song are you listening to?
Just anything, what is, like, if you go to the car right now, what's the first song that you play from Spotify?
Maybe some Laney lah.
Okay.
Maybe some Laney, maybe Dancing in the Kitchen, maybe.
Okay, nice. Okay, sick. Actually, my song this week was
Yeah.
Laney also.
Oh, yeah.
So mine was X I Never Had.
X I Never is good.
Yes, same album. Alright, anyway, thanks so much for the chat today.
No problem.
And then we'll see you at lunch later.
Yes,
Bye.
see you, but
Okay, hi guys. So now, we're finally at our dinner place. So where are we today?
dinner place
A lunch place. So where are we today?
where Soy 19 Thai wanted me.
So why Soy 19 one time?
Because Matthew recommended it, but I have been craving for it for the past 1 year plus. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's quite a nice noodle place. Anyway, thanks for the podcast today.
No worries.
I hope you had a good time, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye.